This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
Hey, our good friend Gavin DeGraw joins us on the show. The new album from Gavin is Face the River. It's the 7th studio album. All the info, GavinDeGraw.com. You played a tiny venue last weekend, a famous one.
Yeah.
But way smaller than you normally play.
Yeah.
The world-famous Bitter End. Tell us what happened.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Bitter End is that performance. We played there for a couple of nights, and that performance is part of a tour we've done to launch this album, to launch Face the River. We decided to do a tour called Full Circle. When I played my father the music, this album, he said one of the first things he said was "Full Circle," and he was saying that it reminded him of how I sounded to him when I first started playing live, playing in bars and things like that. And the album, he was saying the album sounded like a live sort of record. And so we decided to do a tour to promote the album, to get the word out. We decided to play a lot of small venues, the types of venues that gave me a chance to perform before I ever had a record deal. And the reason that playing the Bitter End was so special to me is because the Bitter End here in New York City was the first venue to ever give me a gig here in New York City. And so I thought it was important, and my relationship with those guys, they've just been good to me since I was a kid, and I wanted to go back and play the place that gave me an early opportunity. And so even on, especially on our release date, which was the 20th of May for Face the River, being able to play the Bitter End on release day here in New York City was a really important and nostalgic feeling, to be in the room with people who always treated me like family. And there's no supplement for loyalty, and they were always loyal to me, and I just want to remind them that I love them.
Paul Colby's Bitter End.
That's exactly right.
And for our listeners around the world listening on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you're listening, the Bitter End has been there since, I think, you walk in, and as I recall, there are photos of Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell,
right,
Woody Allen, Jackson Brown.
Yeah.
It's a place that has been instrumental in so many people's careers.
Absolutely.
Since way back in the day.
Absolutely.
The era of the West Village folk scene in
exactly
the late
right.
50s and the early 60s.
That's exactly right, man.
Now, the last time I looked, which was just a few days ago, the town of South Fallsburg, New York, had a population of about 3,000 up in the Catskills, and this is where you grew up.
Yeah.
Your parents raised you, your brother and your sister, and this plays somewhat of an important role in this new album, Face the River.
Yeah, sure. It's where I come from. So my lens of the world is always going to be based on where I came from. Everywhere I go, I compare it to where I'm from, and there's mostly a sleepy little town with not much of an economy, a few prisons in it, for jobs, and it's a town that Dirty Dancing was based off of when they filmed Dirty Dancing, but that era had long passed, and the state of New York built prisons up there, and that was the good portion of the economy. Some other small businesses, a few of them thrived, and most didn't. And everywhere I go now, I can't help but see the world through the lens that I was brought up in, and it shaped me, and my folks shaped me, and the songs on the record are dedicated to my folks. The record's dedicated to my folks, and some of the lessons learned through them, and their life story and my story, looking at the world and looking at them, and just did my best to memorialize them on this record, and play, and pay homage to the blue collar heroes in my life, who are, my parents. We do our culture spends a lot of time worshiping our celebrities, our ball players, our actors, and our musicians and stuff like that. And that's cool, but my heroes were my folks, and I watched them go off to their daily war, trying to make a living for the family, and never really complained about it. They just saw it as their job to do their best, and they really did. And I wanted to acknowledge that. To me, that those are the kind of people who need to get celebrated. I'm not trying to sell shoes.
You're speaking of your parents, and I know they were very supportive of you and your music from an early age, especially your father. Talk about some of the things that he would do. I mean, like these tiny little honky tonks up there in the Catskills, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, even as a teenager, we'd go play little ballrooms and stuff like that, and so it was either you want to play on the basketball team, and that was cool. I enjoyed that. But then once I caught the bug for, being in a ballroom on a Tuesday night instead, during high school, that kind of took over for me. Walking into a place. My brother actually got me the first opportunity to play in bars, and we used to play this little place called the Nowhere Bar in Monticello, New York.
I love it.
Yeah, the Nowhere Bar, right across the street from the police station.
Fantastic.
Two teenagers in there with guitars and keyboards, playing music, and my dad in there, and my mom would come out too, and just that was school nights, and that just kind of shaped me, and that's why I can't wake up in the morning, and why occasionally I would bring a pillow to school and put it on the desk and go to sleep, but.
Well, he would take you around.
He'd take me around, man. In fact, when I moved to New York, to New York City, there was a time when I thought, I'm really kind of depressed about things aren't going my way, and maybe I'm going to have to go back to school or something like that. And then my dad's like, nah. Give me a tape. Make a recording in the house or something. I said, all right. Sure enough, he came down to the city and walked the streets and walked in from bar to bar, restaurant to restaurant, saying, my kid, he's this and he's that, and you're going to brag that he played here one day. And he did. I mean, he did that. And until one day he got me a gig, a few days into hustling, beating the streets, and kind of showing me the example of what I need to do.
Right.
And then he got me a gig, and that was the beginning of my career in New York City until things started going my way a little bit more. But there was certainly plenty of ups and downs, and getting gigs and losing gigs, and I used to walk my gear on a hand truck. My dad had put a piece of red oak at the base of a hand truck to make the base a little bit bigger for me. He was like, that ought to do it, get all your gear on there. Right, got to have a hand truck. Yeah. So me and my brother lived in this one-bedroom apartment. We shared a bedroom in our early 20s. And I had a corner with my gear in it, my hand truck I had two little EV on 10s, JBL on 10s, and a little Mackie board and a little bit of gear. And I just put that stuff on there, and I had a full-size keyboard, and I'd walk up and down the streets, walking in, getting a gig here and there. And I remember walking into a place, and it was my weekly gig, one of my weekly gigs, and there was someone else sitting at a keyboard that they had. And I said, "What's going on here? I'm the guy. I'm the guy.
What are you doing here?" Yeah,
exactly. And the guy goes, "What do you mean you're the guy?" I said, "Where's Joe? Where's the manager?" He said, "I'm the manager." I said, "You're the manager?" He said, "I'm a new manager." I'm sorry. He said, "I bring this other musician to all my jobs. He's my guy." I said, "He's your guy, but this is my gig." I remember just leaving that place so depressed, walking down the street with my hand truck, all my gear on it, And, you pay your dues. You pay your dues. And I had a gig on the Upper East Side. I was living in Hell's Kitchen, 49th between 9th and 10th, and I had a weekly gig on 82nd and 2nd. And I would walk with my gear, across town. He'd walk in miles with his gear, with his hand
Big
truck,
time, yeah.
You know, and because I didn't have the extra $20 for a cab, you know, it's a lot of money.
Yep.
And I just remember just the grind of it, you know. But at the same time, I remember thinking to myself, this will pay off one day. This will pay off.
Yeah.
This will pay off.
And it's funny how you look back on, you know, when you didn't have a lot of money and you're just like running around and, you know, doing, like you said, like looking for gigs and everything. Sometimes those are the best times of your life. You know what I mean? Because everything is so like right now, and then I got to make this happen like right now.
Yeah.
You know?
That's exactly right. I think the desperation in general, it drives you. It does make you better. And it certainly makes you appreciate it a whole lot more. You know, you see a lot of people come up, a lot of acts come up. They get signed very, very young, and they're actually children. You know, and I don't think they can really appreciate when something's going well for them and how well it is going.
Because it happens so fast.
There's just no.
And they're like 18.
They're kids. You know, they don't have a work ethic yet, and they don't have anything to compare it to, you know.
Right.
You know, it's very rare to have a job when you're done with your workday, people stand up and clap and say what a great job you did. You know, name a job like that you can think of other than a musician or a comedian or something, you know, or an actor. So, you know, unless you've worked normal jobs, you have no real appreciation for how lucky you must be to have people actually tell you, "Hey, great job," clap and celebrate you at the end of your workday. They don't do that for a normal job.
No, they don't.
You know, I mean, nobody did that for me when I was working at the lumber yard. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, man, wow, great. You know, way to go, man. The way you can. Nobody did that for me when I climbed a ladder with a window on my back.
Yeah.
You know. So you grow an appreciation because you had other jobs too. You know?
Gavin DeGraw with us. The new album, Face the River. All the info, GavinDeGraw.com. You got to work with a red hot producer by the name of Dave Cobb.
Absolutely.
Talk about working with Dave, because he's the man right now.
Dave,
right?
Man, Dave, I think Dave's not just the man right now, man. I think he's so talented. I think he's going to be the man for a long time, man. I know guys like you and me, we really appreciate someone like Dave because we love real records.
Yeah.
And real musicians. And Dave is a real musician. He likes to make real records that are dripping mojo. And as Joe Walsh described Mojo, I'll share what I recall of him saying about what Mojo was, because I love what he said. He was saying the mojo exists when the musicians are playing the music together. And the guitar player's strumming one thing, the piano player's hammering something else, the drummer's doing this, the bass player's doing that. They all have their own version of where the beat is, right? We all know what the time is. We all know what the beat is. But your time isn't going to be exactly my time, and my time isn't going to be exactly the guy next to me. And that magical time, that magical beat that exists that none of us are playing, it's shared in the middle of what we're all playing. That's where the mojo lives. None of us are playing it.
Right. It's created.
It's created.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's why Charlie Watts was such a great drummer.
Killer.
Because he was a nanosecond behind everyone.
Ah.
And it created the swing.
That's it.
Which is so important.
That's it. And Dave is really set on getting great takes, live takes, you know. So we're playing together, getting a great live take, and we'll play till we have a take that we go, ooh,
yeah,
right, yeah. And there's going to be imperfections in there and all that, and leave them in, man.
Leave them in.
You know, it's funny. One of my favorite things that happened cutting with Dave was something happened. I don't remember. I said something about one particular note or something that happened somewhere during the take. I said, "Man, what do you think about this right here?" He goes, "Do me a favor. Bring up, pull pull up Otis Redding. I've been loving you too long to stop now. I said, okay. He was like, hit play. I said, okay. And I been splat when the band comes in, he's singing and the splat, right? Loving you on that line, right? He's like, all right, right there. Hold up. Just hit pause. And I said, all right. He was like, all right. Guitar came in late right there. Bass is out of tune right there. You know, he forgets a lyric right here. And this happens. We're 5 seconds in. I said, oh, I get it. Yeah. He goes, exactly. But you want to listen to this record. You're still listening to this record. How long have you had this record? I said, 30 years. He said, and you still like it? I said, yep. He said, that's because it's got all those problems. That's why I like it.
Or you can go to listen to Roxanne by the Police, and at the very beginning of the song, there's a keyboard out to a horrible note of the keyboard.
Wow.
And a splunk,
Yeah.
They left it in. And you hear Sting laughing because they made a mistake. And they left it in.
Love it.
Roxanne by the Police. Everyone check it out.
Right. Killer.
I've heard a couple songs from the new album, the title track, Face the River, and Summertime. You've always leaned into, soul, blues, rock, and pop areas. But these songs, I got to say, kind of have a gospel feel to them a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's just...
I'm thinking of a Hammond B3, I think.
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
Me,
well, the Hammond definitely brings that out, too. I mean, for sure. There's nothing like a Hammond. Ugh. And particularly...
As long as you have to carry it to the gigs.
Right. Which my father used to do. He said he had a Hammond B3 player and when he was a young man. And he said, yeah, man, we used to pull that thing around with the Leslie speaker, man, the whole thing. It was just a drag.
It's like the weight of a truck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, you could drive it. So I think that probably does add a lot to it. Plus the guy, there's a young guy playing the organ who came up in the church.
Oh, okay,
yeah. So hardcore gospel player, and that definitely added to the whole thing. And I think also with the kind of records Dave was making that I really admired, I was like, hey, I really love this, these Stapleton recordings. He brought some of that flavor, particularly a song like Face the River. It's just very, it's got that thing. I was doing my best to write my version of a song like Change Is Gonna Come or Many Rivers to Cross.
Yeah.
Something that was in that vein, but I love those songs. I just kind of got tired of singing them. So I wanted to write my own version of one of those types of songs,
Gavin DeGraw is with us. Everyone go out and get the new album, Face the River.
Thanks,
the info,
man.
GavinDeGraw.com. Quick story for you. So Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, for some reason they were a client of the radio station here. Part of their campaign was like, let's have a jock go and participate in the summer camp. And you get together with all these guys that have spent thousands and thousands of dollars to do this thing because people like, Rick Nielsen and Paul Stanley, they all participate and they become sort of instructors. So you get a bunch of guys in a room, they're in a studio. We were at like the Hit Factory. It was amazing.
Wow.
So our instructor was Kip Winger.
Wow.
Of the band Winger.
Wow.
Who is a genius. Like he does symphonies and everything, and he's a really good guy.
Wow.
So you get all together. Okay, guys, here's what's going to happen. We're going to learn 3 songs, and then we're going to do a show at BB King's on 42nd Street as part of the whole Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. What were the songs that we picked? We picked Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way?
Great.
U2, Vertigo.
Wow.
Gavin DeGraw, I Don't Want to Be.
Get out of here.
Swear to God.
You're kidding me.
I swear to God. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Did Paul Stanley choose that, or the group chose it?
The group chose it.
Wow. Oh, my God.
And Kip Winger was like, oh, I love that song.
Oh, wow.
And we got to play it live at BB King's.
I'm honored by that. That's incredible, man.
It was so much fun.
Dude, you're making my day, man. I had this crazy experience. Like 7 years ago, I'm backstage at some show, and Paul Stanley's backstage, and he came over to me, and I was like, wow, Paul Stanley. He was like, hey.
No makeup.
No makeup.
Okay, all right.
I said, hey, He goes, "Hey, man, I love that song." I said, "What song?" And it was "I Don't Want to Be." I said, "Wow, thank you." And I said, "Man, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. Can I get a picture?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." He goes, "Yeah, but that song, that was like a real moment for rock and roll."
Whoa.
I went, "Holy hell." I was like, "Oh my God, it's incredible."
Somebody hit
Paul
record.
Stanley from Kiss is telling me that "I Don't Want to Be" was a real moment for rock and roll.
Unbelievable.
That's a serious compliment.
Big time.
That's a serious
From
compliment.
the head of the Kiss Army. Are you kidding
The
me?
head of the Kiss Army, bro. And that was one of the greatest compliments I ever got, just because of who it was coming from. Kind of blew me away.
Absolutely. Gavin DeGraw with us. Gavin, who is your guitar player that you have in the studio with us now?
It's my buddy Billy Norris right here out of Clearwater, Florida.
Billy, how
Super
are you?
talented
Great,
friend of
What
mine.
kind of axe is that? I can't
This
see
is a
it.
Collings acoustic guitar out of Austin, Texas.
Ah, very nice. So is this new song you're going to play off the new album? And if so, what's
Yes.
the name of it?
Yes.
Tell us about it, and then just go for it.
Yeah, this tune here is called Ford. And if you ever found yourself on the hamster wheel of life, wanting to get off of that wheel, that time when you recognize in your life that your stuff is owning you instead of you owning your stuff, you may ask somebody for advice, maybe somebody older than you, somebody hopefully smarter than you who loves you, and say, what should I do? Here's where I'm at. What do you think? And the conversation might go a little bit like this. Trying, tired, but I'm trying. This hill I've been climbing, oh, I can't see the top. Old man, can you help me understand why I'm on this planet? Do you know when to stop? Working for $1, oh, that's how you make a man feel broke. Working for $1, that's the only thing I know. Just driving old Ford, count blessings and praise the Lord. Have less, make it feel like more. Leave work at the front door. Work hard and you get paid. Don't give them your best days. Only so many left safe. Some of them up for the ones worth saving them for. La-da, la-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da, la-da-da-da-da. Patience, I've run out of patience. I need a vacation, I need out of this shift. Skydive, baby, see how fast I can drive. Too young to not feel alive, and I'm caught in a ditch. Passing me a bottle, old man starts rolling his own smoke. Says he lost me at $1. Here's the only thing I know. Just driving old Ford, count blessings and praise the Lord. Have less, make it feel like more. Leave work at the front door. Work hard and you get paid. Don't give them your best days. Only so many left safe. Some of them up for the ones worth saving them for. Once you find your love, you hold it close and say your name. No amount of money's gonna make you feel the same. Can't you see? Can't you see? Just drive an old Ford, count blessings and praise the Lord. Have less, make it feel like more. Leave work at the front door. Work hard and you get paid. Don't give them your best days. Only so many left safe. Some of them up for the ones worth saving them for. La-da. da da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da.
The pipes are outstanding as usual, man.
Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you,
brother.
man.
Appreciate
that was
that,
so
man.
nice.
Thanks so much, man.
And I think that is a song that all the Gavin DeGraw fans around the world can absolutely relate to. Yours
really
truly
appreciate
included. That is
Thanks,
Gavin
bro.
DeGraw. The new album is Face the River, the 7th studio album. All the info, GavinDeGraw.com.
Yeah,
Thank you,
man.
Gavin, so much.
Means a lot, brother. Thanks for taking the time today.
This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.